Alexis or justice, or dream or some substance. 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 A beamer or necklace or freedom. Alexis or justice, or dream or some substance. A beamer or necklace or freedom. Alexis or justice, or dream or some substance. 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 A beamer or necklace or freedom. Alexis or justice, or dream or some substance. A beamer or necklace or freedom. Alexis or justice, or dream or some substance. Alexis or justice, or dream or some substance. Alexis or justice, or dream or some substance. Alexis.
All right, family, peace. I want to welcome each and every last one of you from the bottom of my heart. It started. Don't need to start. I want to welcome you from the bottom of my heart. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I am your host, Brother Hatim. You are now listening to Folktales for grown folks. We already got the story picked out. I told y'all the story this morning. If you listen to my show, you know which story we about to go into, and we gonna crack some heads tonight, right? But first, I want to salute the ancestor, because one of these ancestors is from Columbus, and his name is Rashawn Roller Cork. I'm gonna play his stuff, but of course, you know
This call is being recorded.
This is from the Heart of a Simple Production, where we strive to blow up your old paradigm. Before we get started, hold up, fam. Hold up, somebody on the line. But you got to listen to this for a second. This is called Inflated Tears, giving more people some time to catch up. obviously got something that she want to say because she on the line early. Is this something you want to share with us before we even get into the folktale, big little sis?
Yeah, I do want to share something.
Go ahead.
I had the pleasure tonight of attending what was this called? District meeting, CEA, for the largest district teaching district in Ohio, regarding some issues regarding some concerns that they wanted changes with their contracts. And one issue that people had was that they wanted more pay, which I understand somewhat, maybe not to the because I'm still new, maybe not to the same magnitude because I give thanks and I creator all things that I can't control. But one thing that came out of the meeting while the auditor refused the finances for the district is that our schools have been unconstitutionally funded for many years. And whereas teachers felt, slighted, they feel like they deserve a better pay, that they, I agree we are professionals, something came up that was very real. And that thing that came up is that you have to cultivate those who and select those who will lead you or those who will represent you and those who will represent your best interest. We have laws on the books that that are there that harm us, that are at a disadvantage for us. But the takeaway message, sir, tonight was that we need to participate politically if we want change. People were upset. They wanted the district to give them more money, but the district doesn't control how much money they are given and what they can use for a budget. That is something that we have to take up with our government. So, again, I think last time I touched on it, it seems like we get in this game. The rules are unfair against us. We can sit on the sidelines and we can complain and we can lament, or we can invent new rules, participate, and make tools out of the things that they've given us for our destruction. And that's kind of just where I'm at. I would like to see some active participation in politics amongst my people so that we can make the change that we need.
Okay.
And part of that comes with grooming our own candidates, and raising our children now. It's not something that we may see in our lifetime, but it's something that we can ensure will brighten up our children's lifetime. And that's what it's about, our legacy. We can't stay focused on the here and now. So it's just time that we groom our own candidates. And that begins with the children we have up under our roofs, introducing them to politics, introducing them and teaching them what it means to be a political thinker, them into a position, helping get them into a position where they can for their people.
Hey, now, so in a sense, we already doing that, right? Can you hear me?
I'm sorry?
We already doing that, right?
For those who, I feel that maybe and maybe not. What I do believe is that people are intentional about what their children, the fields they go into. I'm going to use Tiger Woods, Venus Williams, Michael Jordan, for example. They did not become great just by chance. They came great because they are the greats because they were groomed to be that way from a young age. And so when I'm thinking about politics, I think I shared before, the biggest highlight of my adult life was probably when my daughter told me she wanted to be a congresswoman. And though someday she wants to be an engineer, that would be okay as well. But just from her listening to me, I think I planted that seed, and that is something that, I will continue to nurture throughout her adolescence. Thinking about where our children are needed and helping guide them into those areas. Thinking about where we are needed as a people and guiding our children into those areas. It's just most important.
I can dig that. All right, so let's hit. Now, I wanted to share something. I'm reading right now The Falsification of African Consciousness by Amos Wilson. If you have not checked out Amos Wilson, check out Amos Wilson, man. I just had a major conversation at my place of employment with some partners on this adventure, because I don't like calling it a job. It's an adventure, you know what I'm saying? Because me and my kids is just getting home. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And somebody throwing up parts, and I do have the opportunity to love what I do, right? And Lady J is talking about grooming our kids, but also we need to prepare them for the trials that we make so that we can guide them in the direction they're going. That's what rites of passage is about. See, because the culture will develop what we need to survive. Right now, we're living up under somebody else's idea of what our culture should be. And because we are doing that, we are doing things that are detrimental for us, but benefits others. All right? You know what I'm saying? That's, Amos Wilson, in the very beginning of this book, he starts slapping me in the head. He said, every Eurocentric social institution conspires with Eurocentric historiography or history to handcuff and incarcerate African consciousness, to justify and facilitate the subordination and exploitation of African peoples. Now, one of the things that I want to stress, along with us working on grooming our children and sending them into other people's systems to do things, we need to, and this is just, I know this is going to cause some argument, but we might need to develop some of our own systems so that our children can start practicing running things in that system. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for example, we want our children to be in politics, but we don't have any politics in our community. Any direct politics for us. My fault. In the church, we do. I take that back. In the church, but we need to expand it into what we call the conscious community.
In schools, we do as well. We have politics. We have areas that our children can start getting ready for politics just within our school. As well. When
I'm talking about politics, I'm talking about where they're seeing us involved with politics and making political moves. Not kids playing and imitating just in school, but their parents is not involved.
That's not playing. That's not playing and imitating though.
What is it? What is it?
Something as simple. You're teaching them again. Did you ask me a minute ago? Is this what we do in Simpson? Was that your question?
I ain't say nothing about Simpson, but yeah, I know we do. I know the family do it in the Simpson family. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about in schools.
So what I'm thinking of, as far as one piece is just being an advocate, and that's something that we can. That's a seed that we can place in our children now, and that they can model within a school day just what it means to be an advocate, what it means to be a leader. That's something they can do every day right now within their school. That is to politics. Also, asking questions is a piece of politics. So
they're not really learning that in school.
One thing I teach that I learned and that I advocate for is just asking questions. I always remind, and this is in the curriculum, reminding my students that textbook is a secondary source. That's not a primary source. So anything within that textbook, I can question, I can challenge. So teaching our children to ask questions. to dig deeper, to cultivate their own knowledge and understanding. That is what it means to be a political thinker as well.
Now, but what I'm saying is they want, because it's cool for them to be involved with stuff in school, 100%. I agree with you, but they need to see us. They need to see us creating stuff that we control. They need to see us having those political battles. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't just talking about debating. I'm talking about really deciding what resources goes where. Even if there's just small resources, they don't get to see us. They don't get to see us in leadership positions. A lot of us. You know what I'm saying? We need more of that so that we can start developing and gearing them towards what we need. And we need to start practicing what our ancestors talked about, being able to distinguish the real from the unreal. Because what I'm starting to notice as our children get older, we're not being honest with our children. We're not letting them know what their birthright is. We're not letting them know how they ended up in the situation that they are in. And we're not letting them know where they are, as far as politically and economically, so that we can start guiding them towards, or at least gearing them mentally, so that they could be ready to get up in this machine and wreak havoc. Because that's the only way we're going to get what we need, I believe. You know what I'm saying? But that's mine. So I prepare mine in that way, right? You know, you see Gina in the camera. You see Sasha in the camera. I'm grooming them to be able to run their mouth like this, because this internet for me is the next level weaponry. And also now, far as the village in Columbus, far as the community in Columbus, the politics is starting within our community right now. You know what I'm saying? We got this. You know what I'm saying? We got what's going on with Simba and Simpson. We got what's going on with the Tawi village. We got what's going on with Gye-Nyame. You know what I'm saying? We got what's going on. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. And now all we have to do is to start bringing all those things together and understand that we don't all have to agree. That's what politics is about. It's about doing what's best for the group, not necessarily for you. You know what I'm saying? And I wrestle with that myself. You know what I'm saying? So now let's do this real quick. I want to go straight into the folktale while my kids are up, so they can, I can read them a story. Then I'm about to go the hell off, right? Because I keep on telling you, this is folktales for grown folks, right? Ain't no children supposed to be in the room. But I'm going to read the folktale for the babies, right? Then we're going to send them off so that we can have our adult talk. This is called The Blind Man and the Whelp. Listen up, y'all. A blind man was accustomed to distinguishing different animals by touching them with his hands. The whelp of a wolf was brought him with the request that he would feel it and say what it was. He felt it, and being in doubt said, I do not quite know whether it is the cub of a fox or the whelp of a wolf, but this I know full well. It would not be safe to admit him to the sheepfold. All right, one more time, because I'm about to send my kids to bed, because we got to have some growing up talk around this one, family. Listen up. I'm going to put the number up. The number out there is 614-556-4535. I have enough room for 100 of y'all. I'm paying 100. I ain't paying $100 a month, but I'm paying enough a month where I get 100 of y'all on the line. Now, I want us to discuss this one, because this one right here is a life changer. This is a community changer, right? I want y'all to listen. A blind man was accustomed to distinguishing the different animals by touching them with his hands. The whelp of a wolf was brought him with a request that he would feel it and say what it was. He felt it, and being in doubt said, I do not quite know whether it is a cub of a fox or the whelp of a wolf, but this I know full well. It would not be safe to admit him to the sheepfold. Now, I'm going to read the moral this time, and I'm going to send my kids to bed. The moral of this story is, evil tendencies are shown in early life. All right, babies, go to bed.
Seriously?
Yeah, because I got to have grown folk talk. Grown folk talk. Y'all gonna have dreams about the blind man feeding the whelp. Now, what I'm about to do is, I'm about to pour me a glass of this ambrosia. That ambrosia, this is the regular, right? Unfiltered. I do mine's unfiltered, family. I filter yours, except for those people that request unfiltered. And also for those of you that live in other states, what I want to start promoting is people starting to make their own. Okay? I want you to start making your own. This is why. With things like hurricanes and shit popping off like that, I want to make sure that people have certain skills that they could take and they could use. You know what I'm saying? Because if a hurricane hit or a winter storm hit and your family ain't got nothing but this ambrosia, you got some in the basement because you was saving it up for something. You was storing it up. You got 3 to 5 days. You got this. Y'all going to be able to survive on this. I was able to live on a 21-day fast doing this in water, family. You know what I'm saying? Doing this in water. Now, I'm about to do another fast, right? It's going to be about 42 days. I don't know how soon. Well, you know, my wife rolling her eyes and shit. But that's cool. Shouts out to, of course, Lady J for joining us. I want to send shouts out to Jacqueline Brooks. Jackie, what's up, girl? I want to send shouts out to Kimya Jones. I want to send shouts out to my brother Yusef the Incense Man, homeboy. I think he's still up in Akron. All right. I want to send shouts out to Nehemiah. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. Now, so I read the folktale. Now, family. I want you to listen to that. Wait, hold on. Before I go in, I'm going to turn over the floor. Shouts out to Deion Watson. I'm going to turn over the floor. I'm going to turn over the mic to Lady J because I know she got something for it. Now, y'all need to let me know if y'all can't hear her clear so I can try to make some adjustments. Lady J, do you got something you want to say about that folktale?
I think I would, two things. I just want you to read it one more time.
That's cool. My pleasure. All right, here we go. The Blind Man and the Whelp. A blind man was accustomed to distinguishing different animals by touching them with his hands. The whelp of a wolf was brought him with a request that he would feel it and say what it was. He felt it, and being in doubt, said, I do not quite know whether it is a cub of a fox or the whelp of a wolf, but this I know full well. It would not be safe to admit him to the sheepfold. More of the story, evil tendencies are shown in early life. Damn. You want me to go first or you want to?
I would like you to go first, please.
All right, family. First off. Now, this is one of the things that we are constantly battling with, right? Defining reality for ourselves. It's so good that this one came out on, really they all come out on Kuji Chakalia. Self-determination. Defining yourself for yourself, family. Defining our people for our people, right? Now, one of the key things that I'm picking up from this one is the ability to define, right? Because now I want you to understand this because you experience the same shit, and I'm going to explain how. This blind man, by touch, felt upon the wolf or the whelp and said that the wolf or the whelp was basically evil, that it didn't fit. And he told you exactly where it wouldn't fit. So the wolf's whole existence, according to this man, is based on the usefulness that it presents to men. Men define the world for the wolves, because, Aesop, you got men, you got animals, the animals communicate and stuff like that. And you got different beings, you got these different beings, but men define the reality. And that is where the power is, family. We are allowing other people to define our reality. So our little whelps are being touched by blind men and women and being told they can't be admitted into the sheepfold. Or they shouldn't be admitted to the sheepfold. Because their wolfness, or their blackness, or their moreness, or whatever you want to call it, is automatically deemed as evil. It's been defined for them. So this is what some of the problems that we have when we go into these systems and we start trying to speak our truth. Our truth don't fit into these systems because the system was not designed to hear our truth. Do you understand? Our truth is like the wolf trying to speak to the sheep. This shit don't work. You don't want a sheep. You don't want sheep to listen to the wolf, because the wolf's lifestyle is detrimental to the sheep, and the sheep's lifestyle can be detrimental to the fox. Right? So now that's one. Right? Number two, this dude also says that evil tendencies are shown early in life. This is wisdom from a long time ago. You know, and I remember my grandma saying shit like that. And I'm like, oh no, you can't. You kind of harsh with your judgment. Hold on. Sister Jackie said, wow, I understand that story to say how our elders have confirmed the enemy and automatically veers our children away from certain enemies. You damn right. You know what I'm saying? But this is the problem, Jack. In some ways, we're veering them right into the arms of the enemy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you really look at how everything is structured, it's this, every way of confirming our humanity is based in us being okay by others. And if I'm wrong, y'all, if I'm wrong, please, somebody bust me out. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Because this is a discussion. That's the culture of young people not listening, though. See, and it's like, in many ways, I have to ask the question. Because Sister Jacqueline said, that's the culture of young people not listening, though. I have to ask this question. Should the young people be listening to some of these elders? See, because we haven't really stepped out yet, Jack. I mean, because we are the next wave of elders, baby. You know what I'm saying? And some of our elders have been leading us in the wrong fucking direction and still will not admit that they're leading us in the wrong direction. Hell, they want our whelps, the baby wolves, to act like sheep. Our children get penalized because they can't act like what they're not. You know what I'm saying? Even the blind man can see that, you know, you don't admit these individuals into the sheepfold. Well, we can teach an exception to the rule. We teach in the general rule and have it understood and stabilized and maintained. Brother Dion Watson says a blind wolf will believe he is whatever a blind man tell him he is. Blind elders, blind sheep, etc. Right? And, you know, or even purpose. I mean, because in some ways, some of our elders are purposefully blind. Some of our nation builders are purposefully blind. Some of our warriors are purposefully blind. A blind wolf will believe he is whatever. Okay, he already said that. Shouts out to Ernie Gardner. My brother is on the line. Family, listen. So, this blind man had a skill. And also, so this goes into mastery. He was known to be able to tell animals by touching. Somebody wanted to test him. So they brought him the wolf. They brought him the whelp. But the one thing he was able to determine was that he was able to determine where that whelp or that baby coyote or that puppy dog would not fit. He was able to tell that. Now, family, how many of us got things in our lives that we know don't fit, but yet we still try to squeeze the shit in? See, because and we got to understand that a lot of people are purposefully blind because it benefits them. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know, I was discussing, I have extreme views because I understand where I'm working and what I do. I understand, you know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like, and I know Lady J gonna get on me about this because she kind of quiet right now. You know what I'm saying? This one must have really... Lady J, you still there? I think she fell off the line. No, she's still there. All right? Listen.
I'm listening.
All right. Now, we work in an institution. Let me put it this way. School is an institution designed to socialize individuals to maintain the structure of the system that they are being educated in. So many of us are working in a system thinking that we're moving individuals towards a better life, but actually we're moving them towards some more enslavement if we don't teach them how to think. We're, in a sense, leading them or trying to teach them to be sheep when in fact they're not sheep. They're wolves. You understand what I'm saying? They don't fit. They don't belong. And we're trying to make them belong. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, family, when are we going, you know what I'm saying? When are we going to start doing some of our own stuff? Because like the education is cool because we know we got to do it because legally they got their foot on our throat and we got to do it. And a lot of y'all got to work because many of us got to have a discussion and really be honest that we just need childcare. Really. I mean, you know, because really some of the information that our kids is getting is so old, it's ridiculous. I mean, y'all ain't checking out some of the stuff that your children are learning, some of the useless shit that your child is having to memorize. Useless. Sorry, Sister Jackie says, hold on. And the purposefully blind goes back to our ancestors who did not understand the tongue in this land, but they did understand the actions and build a perception of the enemy. We hope. You know what I'm saying? We hope. But go ahead, Jay, because I know it's burning you up because you hate when I get on the education. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so again, it just takes me back to this system wouldn't look the way it does if we didn't have people telling their children not to go into education because teachers don't make money. Again, if we thought about where we are needed and helped our children or convinced our children or encouraged our children to go into those areas, those buildings and these districts wouldn't look the way they do.
Well, actually,
but because we are underrepresented, and because, you know, you're talking about an elder giving someone foul language. Foul advice or ill advice, or being blind, and leading in the wrong way. I've actually experienced that.
Oh shit, we all have.
I listened and I followed. And at the end of the day, it got me right where I was supposed to be. But again, I was given that same advice. Those exact words. Don't be a teacher. They don't make any money. Now that you have a full right to college, you can be whatever you want to be. But whatever you be, don't be a teacher.
Now,
and I went into a position. I actually worked at a juvenile detention center because I thought that I would be going, and I knew I wanted to work with kids, and I thought that I would work in juvenile law. But I quickly seen once I went there that system is corrupt, and that system does set our children up to be lifetime offenders. And so I realized that if I wanted to make the change that I had desired, that I would have to stop them or reach them in schools so that they could educate and elevate themselves, so that they could receive some of that hope that they were missing. I couldn't, after they made it to the detention center, it was a lost cause. Because once the system got a hold of them,
but the system got a hold of them in the school. See, this is the point, because I want you to go back farther. Why did we start telling our children? Because you know some of the first fields that black folks went into was education. When we first started going to college, the first things we got into was education.
You know why? You know why?
Because we needed teachers.
Because
there was a need.
But and one reason why it was because our schools were segregated, so we had to educate our own.
Right.
So we went into education so that we would be able to educate our children once they desegregated the schools and sent our children into these schools. Then it was as if we felt like we were no longer needed. That was no longer our service. That's not what we needed to do.
All right, now I hear you, but it's something in there that's not is not fitting for me. You know what I'm saying? Because even Because, like, in the segregated system, you're saying that we realized that we needed teachers. And we know we had teachers coming out. And up until, you know what I'm saying?
We taught our own. We taught our own.
Right.
Even during slavery, we taught our own.
Right. Who else was going to teach us?
We figured it out.
Right. Go ahead. And then,
yeah, we figured it out.
And then
our ancestors built our schools with their own hands.
Right.
They had the children make the mattresses.
And somewhere along the line, we lost our minds.
Everything, yeah. And you know, when it was stated that we should cast down our buckets, I kind of, at first I didn't get it. When W.E.B. Du Bois came out with his New Negro, I didn't get it initially. When I was young reading these documents, I didn't understand it. But as an adult, I understand the Garvey. I understand Booker T. I understand so many of those revolutionaries that were coming forth with their arguments, and though their arguments may have lacked some type of something here and there, at the basis of it is what we need to return to. It's the basis of it. There's so much. Our ancestors, I feel, when I read our autobiographies or when I read up on these revolutionaries, I feel like they've given us the blueprint.
Oh, man, listen.
They've already given us the blueprint.
Oh, man, listen. Without a shadow of a doubt, the blueprint is already, everything we need to solve a problem is there. But now, one of the major issues that we have is that a lot of us honestly think, and I could be wrong, that we can actually change the system from inside the system. And I'm like, it has to be a multi-pronged strategy. You can't win.
You remember?
Hold on, let me finish. You can't win any war with one strategy. So we got everybody trying to slide into the system and change the system. We need some people doing both, and we need some people focusing just on the outside. But in order for that to happen, we got to start finding ways to finance some of these things, because education shouldn't depend on what's going on in the school. And I don't think that. And it does. Wait, hold on. Let me finish, because I'll let you go on, right? Because one of the issues that happened with us was that we started being programmed and started believing that money was the major thing. You know what I'm saying? When for us, it was always the people. That's why we started with teachers first.
You know when with this consumer society in the 20s, following, passing up the Great Migration, passing up industrialization.
I don't think it was in the 20s, baby.
I'm sorry?
I don't think it's in. I think it happened. I think it happened more recent than that. I think the shit really started happening for us coming into the 70s. Go ahead.
Let me say this. In the 1920s, when we entered into this consumer society, that's when your noble professions were no longer noble. When I read about the Great Migration, and I specifically read about the city of Chicago. Mm-hmm. When I read about the city of Chicago and the fact that our people began setting up communities there early 1900s, and when it talks about those people who were staple in those communities, it was your teachers, your pastors, your doctors, people who had noble. But when it came time and they made it so that your wealth was based off of what you owned and not your profession, what type of profession you had, that's when we lost it. So when we began ordering things and getting credit to buy things that we didn't have, we got away from judging people based or what is called valuing people based on what their contribution was to our community, and we began valuing them on what they had, their possessions. That's what became your wealth. And it wasn't like that originally in our black centers. It wasn't like that. Those people who held the power were those people who held the noble positions.
Now, so once again, we got they call it a meme, right? A meme. It's an idea virus that flows through a culture. It's a meme, right? So we got this meme that money over everything. You know what I'm saying? started maturing, because it started maturing with us. Let's say, because let's say I agree with you and we got it somewhere around the 20s or something like that. But we could really start seeing it mature in the late 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, because it became all about the money for everybody. All about the money. Right? And you can't win money. Money don't win revolutions. People do. In our culture, people were primary, not money, right? And when we start putting money at the center of our lives, when we start putting money at the center of our lives, because what a lot of people don't understand is what you spend your most time trying to get is what you worship. So we got people worshiping money, worshiping materials. This is their life, right? So then when we start talking about breaking away and doing something, they can't feel that. You know what I'm saying? I can't feel that, right? Because it's like, boom, it's not, and I ain't even saying break away totally, because I honestly believe that I'm old. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for my check. Another piece I want to bring up before we get back into the Whelp, right? Family, they talking about this thing called universal income. We need to we need to shut that shit down until they pay us. Ain't nobody getting no goddamn checks until black folks born in America, right? Black folks that were captives in this motherfucker get our reparations first. There's no universal income for anybody in America until we get our shit first. You know what I'm saying? And we got to stand up on that, because this the whole piece, family. Listen, you're old. You're old. You know what I'm saying? And we could go on and we could point our finger at us and we could say what we did wrong. But one of the things that we have not really done is really held other people's feet to the fire for what they have been accountable for. And we need to get our accountants to show what they've been accountable for and get our money, get our resources. You know, don't have to give me money. Give me resources. All right, Sister Jackie says we have to first get our kids off the blind consumerism. I agree. We have to show them and convince them that they are supporting other families that will always run them and be their overseer because of it. Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Versace, Nike, Tom Ford, and on and on. Stop building our overseers' empires and thinking you will not be enslaved. We have a sharecropper mentality. Actually, I think it might be a step below sharecropper, you know what I'm saying? Because at least the sharecropper is producing something. God damn, we don't even produce nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? So we got a whole nother type of cropper mentality. It ain't sharecropping, because a lot of us getting shit ain't sharing. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? So the piece is, because it ain't even sharecropping no more, family. You know what I'm saying? We got something going on that we got to label. We got to identify it, but they got nothing out of it. We get nothing. And check this out, family. Listen, I'm working with kids that don't even know they're in poverty. How many of y'all got kids?
You know why?
Why?
Because they own things.
Well, yeah.
They have things.
They got things.
They have things.
They don't realize they're in
So
poverty.
anytime and not only that, something my dad taught me, like, though he wasn't the perfect guy and he had many faults, the man who raised me taught me many things. He would always, he had money. You know, he had lots of money. He owned a Avanti, he owned a Rolls Royce, a Benz. He was a heroin dealer. So he had bread.
Hey.
He had money.
Hey.
What?
Hey. Don't be admitting none of that stuff on my show, because I don't want to.
Well, he's dead. So what can anybody do?
I don't know. These motherfuckers is trying to imprison ancestors. Go ahead.
But this is why I'm saying this. To this day, I have an issue, and I've been working on it the past couple years. But one thing I learned at my last position was that I lacked empathy. I lacked sympathy. And sometimes I had to learn how to be sympathetic. But because, for example, I mentioned my dad, my mother was a heroin addict. My mother was a prostitute. And you know what they still managed to do? They still managed to raise me with morals and values. Morals and values. And one thing my dad used to tell me all the time is we didn't know how to value money. Children didn't know how to value money. They thought it grew on trees, and that is so true for our youth today. For our children today, they get these things, and they have no idea the struggle or the hard work or the sacrifices that went into getting them those things. They can't appreciate it
at all.
They can't. So they have no respect or no understanding for monetary for the energy that goes into getting those things. They have this mentality that they are owed, and then again, we're giving our kids things without having them work for it. So that's why our kids lack work ethic. I'm going to allow you to go to school and fail, disrespect teachers, and all of these things, but I'm still going to buy you these things because, again, this is what shows my worth. When people see you, I need them to see you in these $100 jeans.
Right.
I need them to see you in these $200 tennis shoes because
Right.
that you are a symbol of my worth. So
Right.
now your child has no value for work, no value for money. They lack morals and basic values. But like I said, I grew up in a home and still, with all that going on, I understood basic things. Treat people how you want it to be treated.
Word.
Respect your elders.
All right.
Say thank you. Speak when you enter a room.
Right.
Right? Don't say yes. Say yes. Basic things. And
Ain't nothing wrong with saying
like I
yeah.
said, a woman with 9th grade education had enough sense to teach me that.
All right. Now, hold on. I got Sister Jackie says, we are building something on someone else's land and did not get paid. Every year the landowner would say, we broke even. And still have to struggle to feed our kids. That's a little bit different than right now. Shit, we ain't even breaking even. Jacqueline C. Brooks also says, all right, Bootsy, love the shades. I put on some glasses. All right, them genius. Deion Watson says, we're not unified enough to fight for reparations. We got to learn how to love each other first. That's been lost since the government infiltrated the movement and flooded our communities with drugs. Now, I'm going to say this. Love don't mean we all got to get along. You know what I'm saying? See, because we're under the illusion that everybody else is super unified. We just fight at the wrong times. You know what I'm saying? Somebody told me a long time ago, they said, my people, we fight about the money after we get it. He said, your people fight about the money before y'all get it. You know what I'm saying? Family, we don't all have to get along. But see, because this is the issue, right? We're not trying to make Borg. We're not trying to make androids. We're not trying to make little robots. We're not trying to make people that's all alike. We could all have different opinions and different views and be able to move in our direction, right? But we all gonna form tribes. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Like where we are is where, in a sense, as Booker T. Wise say, drop our buckets where we are. Right? What I'm saying as far as that is, we need to start forming these organizations. We old, family. And the only way we're going to get it is to take the shit. Europeans West Asians are very clear with us. You want this shit, you got to take it from us. Family. And we're sitting around, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like this, I don't need unity. You know what I'm saying? Let me put it this way. I need unity within my circle. Right? But other people, like if I could have, so my camp is over here. My sister Jackie camp is down there. My sister Lady J camp is down there. And we say, hey, we need such and such. We need to pull together to get it. We can pull together, get what we want. Go ahead, and then roll out.
Do you remember Mario Brothers, when you would have to make it to a certain level, and then you would have to attack the dragon, and you would have to use everything. You would have to use your fire power. You would have to jump on them over and over again, right?
I'm over.
And you would have to attack from all sides. Like, when I think about our system, I think about the Mario game and beating up the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
We can't say, I agree. We're not all going to agree.
Never.
But the one thing that we must acknowledge,
Hey, we
and
gotta
we
kill that
must
goddamn
remind
dragon.
people, is that we have the same end in mind. We all want the same thing. So so what frustrates me is that we'll get on I'll use this as an example. People will get on Facebook and they'll bash people who are protesting or marching, but they're doing something, and that's a form of political participation. They'll bash right now. They have this boycott going on about NFL, and it's hilarious because I get on and people are arguing over whether or not we should be boycotting. If you're not going to boycott, no boycott. But how
Right.
can you?
And shut your
how
mouth.
can you speak out against someone
Who decided to do
who
something?
is participating politically? And this is their voice. We have to attack the system by all means. One man said he refuses to boycott NFL until we boycott all sports. Right? That's you. But you can't stop me from how I want to participate politically.
Right.
That's my choice. And if all of us did something every day,
Wait.
we would make some move. Instead of sitting there thinking about, my one action isn't going to do something. If every single person did at least one thing every day in the name of in the movement and participated politically, we would get somewhere. But instead of doing something, they'll sit and talk about what other people are doing and why it won't work. Find something that fits you and do it.
Hey, see now a lot of times when we talking to the choir, but it's good to sharpen our spears and shit, get our minds sharp. Right now, Jackie says, "I want my reparation in education, and that way the money will yield much more than we could have ever imagined. But we need to understand that if their feet are ever held to the fire to pay up, it will not be in the form of education. They will be glad to put in our hands. So it will be a distant memory. Education is like putting the money in a high interest yielding account. It will grow exponentially. Both of y'all will be mad at me. I don't.
But
they keep
not.
that shit.
We're not talking about schooling.
All right, but hold on. Now,
We're not talking about schooling. We're
give
talking
me my
about
money.
education.
Hold on, give me my money, and I gonna open an institution like that. Shit, if we're decide, fuck they schools. You know what I'm saying? Because their schools is designed to keep their shit running. Really, when it comes down to it, we need to be having Saturday schools, what they used to call shoelays, where we educating our children for African liberation, for African people. We really need to start. And I agree with the education piece, but the only way most of our people think about education, because if you start saying that shit, our people gonna think, well, yeah, I deserve to go to Harvard. When Harvard is one of those Ivy League schools, and people don't even understand why they call them Ivy Leagues, right? They don't understand why they call them Ivy Leagues, because Ivy grows up on the outside of something and basically tear that shit up and destroys it and maintains the shape. Ivy takes over shit.
I want to say this because I definitely have. I agree with so much you say, but on the other hand, I feel like this. Not only do we need to create our own systems, but we have an opportunity within this great awakening to take over systems, to completely take them over. And so if I have, for example, we can say all day that, and I agree, we need our own schools. But right now we have our own schools. The only thing that's wrong with our own schools is that we're not teaching them, but all of our children are there.
We don't have
all of our children are already already there.
Right. So
and like I just told you last week about these standards, I close my door. Nobody controls what I teach in my classroom and never have. Not as a substitute teacher, not as a teacher. And I'm fortunate to work and previously worked at a place where everyone, even if they're colored, may not be like-minded like me. But I'm fortunate to work in buildings where the staff look like me. And so we can put our imprint. We can create
But we gotta,
and develop curriculum for us,
but
or lessons for us.
Let's be honest. Well, let's be honest. It got to be in secret though. It's still because listen, come on now.
The leader looks like you.
Hey, listen,
the
just
leader
wait,
looks
hold
like
on.
you.
I learned a long time ago. Just because you look like me, don't mean that you like me. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
This the point that I'm saying. We still have to meet up in the hills and try to slide this shit in up under shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we're in their system, right? Now, I agree. If we can take it over, let's take it over, right? But we don't see, because this is the issue. What happens is when we move in and we take over their shit, we become them. You know what I'm saying? We've been so well educated. Like, for example, I can't really be mad at Obama because Obama served his masters. Obama served his teachers well because that's what he learned. That's all he know. You know what I'm saying? So many of us, this is all we know. So we can't even go outside and be like, damn, what is outside this? You know what I'm saying? And if we take it over, let's get that money. But we got to understand, like, if we still giving the same standardized test and still doing the same shit that these people, that they're doing, we ain't doing nothing for our kids. I want you to think about this.
And
hold on. The schools that are educating the top percentage children, I wonder if they doing standardized tests.
They are.
No, they're not.
They
they're
are
not.
assessing their children.
No, they're
they
not.
are assessing their children they are assessing their children. They just have authentic assessments. So it's not like sitting down taking a test. It may be a portfolio where you demonstrate your knowledge that way.
Oh,
so it is.
That's not a test.
Somebody is.
That's not a test.
Let me say this.
That's not a make or break you test. Or make or break the community test. Do you know your school and my school is one test away from them coming in closing the goddamn doors? No amount of portfolios that we put together with our kids or have our kids put together, no amount of talent we demonstrate with our children, no amount of smarts we demonstrate with our children will matter if they don't pass the goddamn standard test. Because the test wasn't designed for them to pass.
No, you know why?
Shit. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
They lack zeal.
What?
They lack zeal. They lack zeal.
No, you know why they can't pass the test? You know why they can't pass the test? It ain't about no zeal. It's about relevance. The test is not relevant to their goddamn lives. Fuck zeal.
Again,
because our kids, listen, our kids can't identify even what we educating them for. They don't even understand what we educating them for. We can't even plug it into something bigger. They don't even see the value of it because they know they probably see people in their family who went to college who ain't doing shit and can't do shit. We need to be honest about this.
Man, I don't agree.
I
don't agree. I don't agree. I just don't agree. I don't agree with that. When I think of how do you lift yourself out of poverty, and then I'm not talking about schooling, it is to be educated. And like I said, if your training, if your future career requires you to go to college, that's where you should go. And if it doesn't, you shouldn't. But I know for a fact, and I watch, and I come from nothing, and I've watched it change life. I've watched it.
You watch what changed life?
I know it's real, and that's...
You watch what changed life?
Getting an education.
Or getting what education? See, let's be clear. Wait, be clear. Be clear with me. What education changed? What education changed? Because Ohio State ain't changed shit for me. What changed me was individuals. What changed me was individuals that I ran into that sparked an interest in me to go and do some personal studies. That's what changed me. What changed me was teachers saying, "Look, you good at writing poetry, but you're not. You need to correct this." They took a personal interest in me and made what I was learning relevant. This shit that we getting our kids ready for is not relevant. Hold on. Hold on. Jackie says, if you give us a collective monetary payout, you can bet it will be gone and we will fight harder against each other. The money will destroy any chance of unity. Now, I'm going to say this. For some of us, that's exactly true. But It don't take all of us. Let the dummies burn the money away. Jackie, me and you ain't gonna never beef about no goddamn bread. We been broke together. We done ate sugar bread together. How the fuck me and you gonna fall out about money? Me and
where is the proverb
Hold on.
about?
Hold on. Let me finish. Hold on. I'll give you the proverb in a second. The teaching system is flawed when it comes to minorities, not just black folks, but also the relevancy piece. As you say, is real. They do not have enough black teachers like Lady J to teach outside of the curriculum because the researchers and the use of the public education as a reference, not their skill set. For sure. But go ahead. You was asking about a proverb and you was about to try to bust me in the head with facts.
I want to know where, because I'm just one, and I'm sure this might elicit something, but I say this all the time. You know, when I think about this country, I don't think about it being nobody else's country. I think about it being my country.
I agree with you.
Because my people built this
we
country.
Built this shit.
The next thing, when I think about that whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps, I said this last week. Again, I'm thinking about the Negro knowing many rivers. This is not the first time that they have knocked us, that they have robbed from us, that they have stole from us.
It needs to be the last time, though.
Each and every time, we manage on this continent and on other continents, including our own continent. So the piece is, I'm not waiting for anybody to give me shit.
No, wait, time out. Wait, stop. Wait. Hold on. Time out. Wait. Okay, wait. Because you putting stuff on me. But go ahead. Shouts out to Terry House.
I'm not waiting, and it's not okay. It's not okay to wait for somebody to give me something.
Wait, stop.
For me to do what I need.
Hurry up. Finish what you're saying. Hurry up. Cause I'm about to get. Cause you ain't. Okay. That ain't right. That's you.
Okay.
You're taking my words out of context, and that's not cool, baby.
No.
I never said what. I mean, but we talking about reparations. I brought up reparations.
She has this argument about these reparations. She has so much to say about reparations all the time. I'm not even speaking about your words. I'm thinking of some other words that I've heard and some other people's arguments. But what I am saying is the same thing I say to them. Why would I wait for that?
But hold on, no. See,
we have everything that we need. Our ancestors
time out.
And they built.
Hurry up. I'm trying to be patient. Go. Go. Finish.
Our ancestors had less. They didn't. They had less. They came with nothing, and they made a whole lot of something.
Hurry up.
You know, and I think we just got to return to the basics. Now, we got to light fires. I know that there are some districts. First time I ever heard of a 90-90-90 school. 90% African American, 90% in poverty or receiving free or reduced lunch. 90% passing their state test. Those schools do exist. Those schools exist. And so when I think about what those schools look like, one thing that I know is that those schools have teachers. And those schools are required to take the same test, but those schools have teachers that look like myself that can tell their testimony. They can give hope where there's no hope. They can explain how things like education or schooling can lead to get you and break chains. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it.
Now,
it can happen.
Now, what? Now, was it the test, preparing the kid for the test, that helped them break chains, or was it making the knowledge that they were given relevant to the child's life? See, because now, and now, let me say this. On Gye-Nyame journey, I never tell nobody to wait for shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting around waiting for no goddamn check because I know they're not going to break off no money.
I didn't say you were.
But what I'm saying, but you brought it up I brought it up in discussion. But I need people to understand this because I do believe we're owed reparations. I believe we need to go hard to get our shit. And I do believe that in some instances, we're going to have to roll up on America in a gangster fashion and get our money, right? Get our resources. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not taking 40 acres and a mule because I'm not, right now, I'm not in a position to do no goddamn farming. You know what I'm saying? And I can't use a goddamn mule. You give me a Tesla or some shit like that. But the point I'm trying to make, is the education has to be relevant towards the kids. And we have to be clear when we say we want education. Are we talking about the education system that's set up right here that we could go and get statistics on to show how it's pimping our people, how it's throwing our people into debt? You know what I'm saying? Or are we talking about? Wait, hold on. Let me finish. Are we talking about getting some resources that we could set up a system where we can actually give our children an education that is relevant to who and what they are? Now hold on. I got my big sis Tara Hossa. She says Marcus Klein has the most powerful education model for our children that raises the bar. I don't know who Marcus Klein is. And you know who Marcus Klein is?
I'm not familiar.
Okay, I'm going to check him out. All right, now go ahead. Jackie, why you ain't on the call? Call in 614-556-4535. Tara Hossa, call in. Let us know about Marcus Klein and the system that he got. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Klein. Let me look it up. But go ahead. I'm listening.
Yes, he may reactivate some prior knowledge for me. I may just not be connecting the dots now. But what I want to say is this: if we are telling or we are relaying this message,
Go ahead.
If we are,
it's breaking in and out. Hold on, let me go and get this other thing off. I'm gonna look up Marcus Klein later because it's messing up the call. Go ahead.
If we are promoting or if we are spreading this propaganda that going to school, okay.
You what?
Hello?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. Go ahead. They're going to school. What?
If there's this message, and I'm not saying again because you're not the only one saying this. Why does it keep doing that, Tim? Do you hear that?
Yeah, I mean, cheap equipment, baby. Push through it. I'll let you know what you ain't being heard.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Okay, so if we promote this message, then what we have is we have youth or individuals that don't believe that there's any value in going into a specialized or any type of field that requires you to go to college. Now, I am of the opinion that college itself, going off to college, is more of an experience than anything. And it is a, I think, valuable experience. Now, what I would say is, like your caller said last week, it's unfortunate that more of our children are not encouraged to go into HBCUs and things of that sort. But I know for a fact, and I don't want to use myself as an example, but I know others, because of the lifestyle that I came up in, who have elevated themselves and broken chains just by going to school. So it may not have worked for you, and it may not work for everybody, but it does work.
Now, once again, I'll go back to my initial question. Was it the fact that they went away to school, or was it the fact that they ran into people that got them to start? Because now, let's talk about some of these professions, right? Let's be serious about this, right? Some of these professions, a lot of our people a lot of us are living sharecropper existences. You know what I'm saying? We got jobs. We're making just enough money to take care of us, and some of us we're taking care of extra family members. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not getting wealthy. We already know that it's pretty clear to me. Maybe it ain't to a lot of y'all, but a lot of our retirement accounts are already being spent. You know what I'm saying? And the value of the money in there is dropping so fast that by the time we become 65, we're gonna have to work till we about 85. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to be clear. are we talking about meeting people? You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have to go to school. Me and you right now, we can. Hold on. Because your daughter could become a politician without going to college. You know what I'm saying? It's some professions that don't need. And then on top of that, we have enough skill in our community where we can start certifying ourselves as shit. See, because this is the issue. To look good, we got to be certified by them. To become professionals, we got to be certified by them. They control the certifying piece. You know what I'm saying? Every last one of the persons probably listening to me have ran into some roadblock where we had to have somebody be able to put the definition on us that we were a professional. You know what I'm saying? Rather, and usually the people, and usually the people that's putting that on us don't look nothing like us, nor do the fees that we pay, does any of that money come back to serve us in our community. We got another caller, unless she let me. Wait, hold on. I got Miss.
Let me just say.
Hold on. Miss Jackie said, hold on. We got hold on. What the hell going on? Miss Jackie just said, hold on. We might got another chat. I got a couple of chats going on here. Miss Jackie just said, I can't call in, but I can chat. Kids in bed and it's silent here. I'm not going to chime in anymore because we can go back and forth all day on the education. But I want our discussion to have some type of literature behind the opinion so everyone can grow through research. You damn right. Right? You damn right. I agree. I don't got no literature. I'm running strictly on emotions at this point in time. You know, but I will say,
I want to share this.
Go ahead. Amos Wilson,
I want to share that when I went to so you know I became a mother on my 14th birthday, and 3 months later my mother died, and I was in foster care. I received a full ride and I went to OSU. When I made it to OSU, I went into a program for single parents and teen moms. And these moms were coming from all over, and we ended up, we lived on campus in student family housing. So I got to see all of these, meet these young women who, like me, were mothers at 14, mothers at 15. Some of them, it was a generational thing. Some of them just made bad decisions. You know, I knew a girl, her mom was a teacher, but she was pregnant at 13, just like myself. But I watched these women in my network go into so many different fields, right? And whether they came from the projects or from poverty or from a home like myself or from a different home, I watched them become counselors, school guidance counselors. I watched one of them become a lawyer. I watched them become supervisors in government jobs. I watched them move. And again, break these curses. And so that is one of my reasons why I argue that in some instances, and not every instance, it does work. One thing we must, it bothers me when I go into a fifth grade class or a fourth grade class or a middle school class and I ask the kids what do they want to be, and they don't know. That's a foul. That's a flag on the play. If you're in late elementary, you're in middle school, you should already know what you want to be so you know what you're working towards. Another thing that we don't have that we had is at some point we began to frown upon these training programs and these certificated programs for, we felt like they were kind of pushing our kids in those directions instead of pushing them to graduate. But the truth of the matter is a lot of our kids want to go into those areas, and that is most productive. That is most productive. If I can get training now, if I can get experience now while I'm in school, so that when I become an adult or when I'm turned 18, I'm already have that under my belt so I can go out and get a job, and it makes me more employable. That only makes sense. But people are not asking their children, what do they want to do? People are not sitting down with their children, asking them and encouraging them to figure that out. How nobody gets in a car and just drives without having a destination.
Sorry.
How do we expect our kids to get where they want to, where they need to be? and we don't even let them. We're not even cultivating these type of discussions.
Wait, hold on. We got a lot of people in our family that does that. Hold on. We got Miss Jackie saying, go back to your fable. Go back to your fable. The one-eyed man in the line of the blind is king. We are needing a healing of the eyes right now. We need eyes to be open to our possibilities via open hearts and properly use resources. She also says, I can't call in, but I can chat. Kids in bed. Boom, boom, boom. But I want a discussion to have some type of literature behind the opinion so everyone can grow through research. And boom, last she says, Jay Bravo, to your pulling yourself up by your bootstrap. You can actually follow Booker T. Booker T, your words are similar to what he meant by everyone grab a brick. Thanks for those bricks you just put up, huh? That's what I'm talking about. I don't know what's going on. Something popped up on my screen. All right, so now let's go back to the fable real quick, because you know, Lady J come on and we often spar. She's one of those Pisces.
No, you gonna blame me? That's
I ain't gonna blame you.
Like
I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming in. You know what I'm saying? I love the fact that you have a strong opinion. I love that. You know what I'm saying? So hell, you keep the discussion going. You pop it up. Your ass was ready though. I mean, before I called in. You was waiting. And I keep on telling you the picture that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. The people listening to the tone, listening to the words, listening to people have misplaced anger at this meeting, this mass meeting I was at today, kind of did fuel me, and it got me to the point again where I want to post my wanted sign for educators. It makes no sense to me, and I'm not saying, you know, I'm not going to say too much, but that's where it has me at.
All right, so hold on, let's go back to this real quick. A blind man, because we're about to end it, you know, because we over the hour. A blind man was accustomed to distinguishing different animals by touching them with his hands. Man was skilled with his hands. You know what I'm saying? Mastery. I want you to know that mastery is a common theme that flows through a lot of these stories. The whelp of a wolf was brought to him with a request that he would feel it and say what it was. He felt it, and being in doubt said, I do not quite know whether it is the cub of a fox or the whelp of a wolf, but this I know full well. It would not be safe to admit him to the sheepfold. All right. Now, also, another piece that comes from this is being able to identify people's nature, right? A lot of our grandparents was really into this, right? And we called it being me. My grandmother used to call out my friends, and she would let me know who was going to be a good friend. She would let me know who wasn't going to be a good friend, just by, in a sense, like this blind man. See, because it's like becoming professional, becoming a master at what you do. Once you be master one thing, I ain't gonna say it's easy to master another thing, but you're able to make comparisons. My grandmother, I don't know exactly what she mastered, but my grandmother was cold with it. She would tell me, oh baby, he ain't shit. Or baby, that she ain't your type. Or baby, that relationship gonna last about 3 weeks. But she never called me baby. She like Sasha. She say what's on her mind, right? So, like the blind man, she was proficient at what she was at, what he did, right? So some of us, we need to get into mastery. Like Jackie said, research. We need to teach our children research, but we also need to make sure that we need to, as our ancestors say, provide them with a lure to mastery. Lady J says, hey, have discussions with your child to find out what it is that they want to do so that we can start giving them the lure towards mastery. Right? What's the lure? What's the lure? A lure attracts individuals towards something. You know what I'm saying? And what we need in our community, we need more masters, because right now what we got is we got jacks of all trades. right? We got people that's not focusing on mastering things. And we need to get back to the master culture, because that's what we was. It wasn't no jack of all trades that built pyramids. It wasn't no jack of all trades that held the empire of Ghana together, or the empire of Mali together, or any of the other kingdoms over there in West Africa, or even when we get to Kemet, or when we get to Nubia. It wasn't jacks of all trades that held it together. It was masters. Right? So we got to promote our kids into becoming good at things. And we need to be able to get them to link with other people so that they can supplement their skill. People pay for masters. Right? People trade with masters. And we need to get into that. This blind man was a master, so he was able to touch. But when a problem came up that was a little bit too big for him, he answered. I want you to check this out. He answered in an ancestral way. He didn't say he didn't know what it was. He said, I'm not sure. But he let you know the nature of the thing. And a lot of us are not looking at the nature of the things or the people that we are dealing with. Look at the nature of the thing. Right? And it will tell you a whole bunch about it. You know what I'm saying? Now, and I told my daughters this, and then I'm going to let you go, Lady J. I tell my daughters all the time, I say, baby, not Gina and Sasha, but my grown daughter, my grown daughters, I said, y'all need to really, really start monitoring who you, in a sense, give yourself to. Right? Because I say a lot of times, y'all end up being a notch in a nigga's belt rather than a jewel in a black man's crown. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we just, because we're not looking and using our innate wisdom and looking at people and what they do and looking at their nature and looking at the things they do that's telling us who they are, we just give ourselves away. You know what I'm saying? We start trusting a wolf with a sheep. You know what I'm saying? And we end up getting hurt. I mean, we can see it in our leadership. We can see it in our schools. We can see it all around us. And a lot of us, we just sit quiet because it's the politically correct thing to do. You understand what I'm saying? Family, we got to really start being like this dude, right? And we got to be able to give people answers now. And this is another piece, right, with our young people. Well, I'm sorry. I said I was going to let you go. So, we need to start learning how to judge. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just people, but it's things, it's systems, it's organizations. And let me say this too. Our ancestors say, family, the best life is achieved by engagement with systematic processes. I want y'all to think about that, right? Because when it comes to developing the best life, our ancestors talk about systems. And the question I have for all of us, what systems have we set up for our children to be successful? What system have we set up for us to be successful? You know what I'm saying? And even if we can't be successful, are we leaving a legacy? Are we leaving something? Are we leaving a system that our children could plug into to start moving towards being the politicians and being the master teachers that we need to move us to the next damn level? I'm sorry, Lady J. Go ahead. Sister Tara Hauser, call in 614-556-4535. Go ahead.
I just want to, you mentioned making it relevant. Right now trending is this, the death of this young lady in Chicago. I don't know. I've been working a lot, so I haven't been able or had the energy to really dig deep into what actually is going, the full story. I haven't sat and listened to the video like some people. But one thing for sure, two things for certain, there were many things that I seen just on the post. And one thing that I left thinking was, I hope I don't sound insensitive, but I wondered why mom, or where was mom, or why didn't she see this on these girls? Because this is a conversation I have with my girl all the time. This is a conversation my mama, like you said, you were talking about, had with me. My daddy had with me. people I looked up to or people who were in my life had with me about the friends that you keep, right?
Word.
So here this girl was 16 years old, looked much growner than that at a hotel party with people who were probably jealous, just, I don't know, thirsty. I don't know what to say, but I felt bad because I immediately put fault on her mother because I wonder, why didn't she see this? Why couldn't she sense this in these girls that her daughter was hanging out with? Why couldn't she pick up on that?
Well,
it's just a sad situation.
The sad situation for a lot of our children is that they're being raised by people that didn't want children in the first place. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's something that we got to face. You know what I'm saying? It's something that we got to, as being educators and being people that work with children, we got to be willing to open up our homes because some of these parents don't want some of these kids. Period. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it. I done had parents give me kids. What? And I'm not playing. Miss Jackie said we have to show our kids their way with them at the helm. Put them in the boat, set it in the water, and let them work the oar that directs them. That makes great captains or parents. Trust your crew or your kids after you create the atmosphere. Now, Jackie, it's crazy that you talked about this because I had to look up the word government today. Do you know what the root word of government means? It means to steer the ship. You know what I'm saying? It's to steer the ship. Government to steer the ship. Right? A great metaphor. Right? And also I want y'all to remember this, right? And this is another reason why I keep coming down on the whole education piece. Because I know we got to approach it from many different angles. And we're going to have some people that's doing the spook who set by the door. And some people just straight up attacking the walls. And some people doing both. That's the only way we're going to win. Right? But I need to stress this. The Jesuits had a saying, I think they got it from Aristotle or Socrates or one, that says, if you give me the first 7 years of a child's life, I will show you the man. I want y'all to understand this. In the first 7 years of life, you know, those of you that had experience with Gye-Nyame or the underground, y'all know the power of the number 7. 7 years in systems, in certain systems, is a cycle, right? In Gye-Nyame, 7 is the number of study, rest, and perfection. And what they're saying is that if they have a child from 0 to 7 for the first 7 years of their life, that they will be able to give you the man that they want, the man that they need for them. Family. We're giving them the first 7 years of our children's lives, which allows the subconscious programming to be laid out for our kids. This is why I'm saying we need to interfere with the programming that's going on. If we don't do nothing but hook up on Saturdays, we pay taxes for these buildings, so we need to demand that they be open so that we can continue the education on some Saturdays and on some Sundays. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Because we need to teach our children to be like this blind man, the master. Right? You know what I'm saying? So now we talked about the blind man. We talked about the whelp. Right? Now, he felt it. Now let's talk about the way he answered. He didn't say, I don't know what it is. But he told you the nature, and he gave you an opportunity to make a decision. And this is the most painful part about parenting, and this is the most painful part about rites of passage, because there comes a point in every initiation. And family, we need to understand that raising our children, at some point in time, our children need to have initiation. You know what I'm saying? In our communities, our children, our young people need to have initiation. In our organization, there needs to be a initiation. And in that initiation, there comes a critical point where an individual has to make a critical decision. Critical decision, right? What we used to do in African wisdom is we allowed you to make the decisions. We didn't tell you what to think. We taught you how to think, and we trusted that through our teaching, you will be able to understand and go deeper with it. So when I gave you the critical choice, I can almost predict what you're going to do. Almost. Shouts out to Sister Terry Hansen. Shouts out to Sister Jackie. Shouts out to Isaiah Williams. What's up, my man? I can't go all the way back up because it's acting up. A family. And shouts out, of course, to Lady J for joining me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish playing Inflated Tears, but we about to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Those of you that are listening in and you got kids asleep, I'm going to advise you to turn your radio down because we about to finish this Inflated Tears, which is a song. Well, maybe not. Hold on, let me see what else I got on here. Yeah, I love Inflated Tears. I'm sorry. So let's go and listen to it. Let's finish it out and then we gone. I love each and every last one of y'all, and I pray that your evening will be as beautiful as you are. All right, ladies. I want to thank y'all for joining us on Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. You were just listening to Folktales for Grown Folks. Of course, you know this is a Heart of December production. Well, each and every time we strive to blow up those old paradigms. All right, family, we out.